Hi, I'm here today with James Partner from Oasis Technology Limited, and he's a phone provider. And I wanted to talk to you today about business phone numbers. So, if you can just introduce yourself, then we'll kick off.
Why not? Right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. My name's James Partner. I'm the owner and MD of Oasis Technology Limited. We originally provided IT consultancy, but now we are a fully fledged telecoms provider. Our core business, well, our core goal is just to save people from the likes of the larger providers to which you're just an account number. We just like saving people money. We do a good job. People tell others. We've grown, and yeah, that's it. Enough of this. Enough of this self-promotion. Tanya, ask me some questions.
No, that's great. Well, it's true though, isn't it? Because let's face it, these big companies they just want to lock you in for as long as possible, and that is basically because they know that their service isn't necessarily up to scratch, and you'll leave as soon as you can.
Well, it's like this. Our agreements are 30 days.
Wow.
People stay with us because they want to, not because they've signed a huge contract. Even now, I've got customers that I've provided broadband to, but they didn't actually know about the telephone lines, things like that. And it was only about 6 months ago, and the worst contract I've seen was they actually showed me, they said, "So you do telecoms?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, can you just have a look at this then?" And they showed me a contract from a company who are renowned in this industry. I won't say the name However, the contract, when you look at the small print, this was absolutely minuscule print on this
Microscope out.
It was. And I don't know why, and I'll be honest, I'm not wearing glasses now, but my eyesight's not fantastic. It's years of sitting in front of a screen.
Neither's mine.
But I'm looking down the bottom, looking down, and then when you suddenly you just see a word that sticks out, and I actually saw some brackets, and I read it, and it said the contract term is 120 months.
Wow.
It said 120 brackets 120 months. A 10-year. What confidence has that company got in their product? They've got to lock you in for that long. It's wrong.
And I bet my last pound that they hadn't read that when they signed up, and they certainly hadn't had it pointed out to them.
No, I think the actual words when I told Leslie were, I thought it was a 2-year contract.
Wow.
I thought, no. As it was, they managed to, I said, "You need to get some advice on this." They were a small bit, there was only husband and wife just running from their garage.
Yeah.
We did actually manage to get them. There was a settlement figure, but
Yeah.
they did take some legal advice. We did manage to actually get them, not completely out of it, but the settlement figure was colossal. We did actually manage to speak to someone there and get it out. But it's just wrong. Companies should not treat other companies like this. I mean, I'll say ours are 30 days. The idea being that if we do something good, the customer's happy, they'll tell other people.
Yeah.
If they don't, let's face it, we're all human. We might make the odd mistake. If
Of course.
If we do something wrong, we say the customer will tell us and we'll put it right. Because if we don't know about it, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
But we've grown. We don't really advertise. We don't have to advertise. Our growth has just been through recommendation. So we must be doing something right.
Yeah, which is just fantastic, isn't it? And that's why I wanted to speak to you today, because I know that you're just honest and say it as it is, sort of thing. So that's what you need to do.
You've got to treat people the way you would expect to be treated. More importantly, the way they want to be treated. Because if someone doesn't like what you do, if I get bad service, you vote with your feet. You go and find somewhere else that can provide the same service.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, you don't want to be tied in forever, so you can't do that, because it's just builds resentment. There's no point, is there?
No, none whatsoever.
So obviously, like, the growth of the mobile phone usage has meant that a lot of people go into business and they set up using their mobile phone, don't they? And it's something that I feel quite strongly about, that there's this other option that a lot of people know about, but a lot of people think it doesn't necessarily apply to them, or they think it'll be really expensive. And that's what I wanted to discuss with you today, is that it's easy to display your mobile phone on your website or your Google business listing or even your business cards. But if you're thinking of yourself as, a shop window, if you like, by putting that mobile phone number on your marketing material or your website, it's like having a shop window with all boxes piled up in it and not actually doing a proper display, isn't it? Because
That's it.
you're showing yourself, you're looking like a new business essentially, and guess what, you might be, but it's all about the perception to those people that you're hoping are going to become your customers. So
You're spot on. It's just about, it is perception. Anyone can start business with a SIM card, and for some businesses, don't get me wrong, there's nothing actually wrong with that. Let's face it, if you're a plumber, a plasterer, electrician, you're going to be out on the road all day, every day. No one's going to expect you to be sitting behind a desk.
Yeah.
But conversely, and I'll give you an example in a moment, an IFA. I have a client, and names. Okay, we're not going to get down that, go down that road. But an IFA, good for well-known local business, really good at what they do. They started with a mobile number. Now that's all well and good, but you're looking for someone that you're going to hand tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds to, and they've got a mobile number. Well, yeah, they could be here one day, gone the next. It's a landline number. Sorry, someone's just about to fall off my desk. Apologies. It's about credibility and not say looking established. If you're looking at a couple of people, you're on Google and you see someone that's just got a mobile number, then you see one that's actually got a landline number, and perhaps they've got a number in Leicester, one in Nuneaton, etc. They think, well, yep, they're established. Which one are you going to go to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 100%, isn't it? And it's like, you go on Google and type a search in for anything, and you're getting like a million results, quite possibly. And that person who's doing the search has got to make a choice on who they're going to call. And really, all you're trying to do at this point is make yourself higher up that list of people to call, or ideally at the top of the list. So if you're displaying information that makes you look more credible, it helps with your credibility, then you're going to be hopefully that person, aren't you? And essentially they need the service.
This is hard enough. You need something that's just going to actually set you aside from someone else. And it sounds ridiculous, but a local phone number to the area where you're trying to attract business will help. And conversely, I know I've mentioned about plumbers, plasterers and trades. So a lot of people aren't going to expect a tradesperson to have a landline number, but what we've actually done as well, we've got one friend who's actually a plasterer, again, well-established company, very well respected. He wanted to actually market was actually in Solihull. He just wanted to attract business from there, and he was looking at doing a leaflet drop, and he thought he could put his mobile number on there, which he's a tradesman, but he thought, shall he put his Hinkley phone number on there where he lives? And he thought, no, if I'm looking to attract something in Solihull, I need to actually put a local number on there. So again, we just gave him a local number, which he could then which diverted to his mobile. So at least he could actually look as if he was in that area. And they tried it. And I said, well, a local number, all of our agreements are 30 days. You can have a number for 30 days. He tried it, did a marketing campaign, and it brought him in so much business for, a few pounds a month.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing is as well, it's like you just said, it comes through to your mobile phone. So it isn't a hardship in any way. And the other thing I really like about it is when your phone rings, it looks different. It doesn't just come up with a mobile number phoning you. That you've probably not got saved in your phone. If it's a new customer, you're not going to. And you're getting a number phone you. You don't know if it's a mum from school, a random, you just don't know. So you're not going to answer it with your professional hello Beacon business consultants, because it could be Jane from down the road. So if you're using one of these systems where it comes through as an app, you straight away when you see it, that's a work call, right?
It's a business call. It's a business.
Take it like this. And also, conversely, if the kids are screaming in the car or any other such thing, you think, I'll let it go to voicemail and I'll ring them back at a time when it's actually convenient.
Using a mobile phone app. I mean, there are some companies where, and we offer it as well. You can just have a landline number that diverts to your mobile, which that's all well and good, but then if the call's not answered, it goes to your mobile's voicemail, which again, it could be your own personal voicemail, prospective customer. It could be the single biggest customer that you're ever going to get. Yeah. It goes to the mobile, and then you actually get their voicemail. Oh, it's Steve. I'm not about. Leave me a message.
Yeah, exactly. Or worse.
That customer is poised to spend £200, 2,000, 200. You don't know, do you?
No.
Whereas
You never know when your next big customer, where they're next coming from, or who's the next big customer.
And not only that, if you call somebody back from your mobile, so if you've got a professional voicemail on there that says, "Thank you for calling James at Oasis Technology. I'm sorry I can't take your call, but please leave me a message. I'll get back to you." That's fine.
You've done that before.
Once or twice, yeah. But when you then call that person back and you call them with a mobile number, that's going to confuse the hell out of some poor.
Yeah.
Or they phoned an office, it's diverted to your mobile, you've then called them back presenting a mobile number. Okay, so this is just some amateur, someone that's just got a virtual number.
Yeah.
What we do, we use, we can provide numbers with a soft phone app. So it's an app that will run on your phone, whether it's Android, iOS. You can even run it on PC and Mac platforms as well.
Okay.
The call comes through to that device. You can see it's coming through to an app. So you see it's a completely different, so you know that it's a business number.
Yeah.
If you miss the call, you've got your own separate voicemail for it. Not only that, when you call someone back, they're going to see your landline number because it presents the landline number. So they don't know you on a mobile. You might be driving along and they could hear the road noise, etc. But
yeah,
it's about
in a physical place. It's
purely about perception, Tanya. So you want to portray a professional image. And as I said, anyone can work with a mobile. That's fine. But if you want to portray a professional image, then if you're expecting people to put business your way. It's the least you can do to present that professional image. So when you do call them back, you look like the pro that you know you are.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And the other funny thing as well, of course, nowadays, everybody expects, not necessarily expects, but everybody just does stuff when it's convenient for them. So if somebody just thinks, oh, I must call so-and-so because I need to leave them a message or whatever, and they call you, it could be 7 o'clock at night, 6:30, whatever, because they've not necessarily given it any thought. And then if you're getting a call through to your mobile number and you're answering it, suddenly you want a work call that you didn't mean to be on at 6:30 at night, when, all you'd got to do is, if you'd got the app, you'd have seen it and gone, oh, I'll leave it. And it's that, just having that difference and knowing this is a work call. Do I want to take it now?
You can actually go one better than that. With the app that we provide, you can also set opening hours. So if you don't want to be bothered after 6 o'clock, it doesn't bother you after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it just automatically goes to voicemail, which is fantastic, isn't it? And I think the thing is, nowadays, technology has come on so much that why would you not use the technology that's available to you?
Yeah,
really.
There are so many tools, and you're not looking at a whole lot of money to do it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is the next question then. So because some people obviously won't have looked at this yet because it maybe just hasn't been a consideration, they've not thought about the perception point, but also some people might have thought, in startup, people are trying to cut costs wherever they can.
It's human nature. No one wants to spend any more than they have to, do they?
But obviously a simple cost benefit analysis would help with this. But what sort of a gauge, give us a gauge, what sort of money are we talking a month to do this?
The plans start at £3.50 plus that a month.
Wow.
That's with
that's coffee then. So the plans start at a cost of coffee a month.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, if you're having mainly inbound calls, then you don't really need any outbound minutes to call people, unless obviously if you miss a call. £3.50 a month gives you 60 minutes of outbound calls. And again, because the calls are coming to an app, they're not being diverted to your mobile. There's no inbound cost either.
Okay.
So 60 minutes. I mean, a lot of people, they just want a number just for inbound calls. We give them we give them 60 minutes just so that in the unlikely event they do have to make like the odd emergency call, they can present the phone number. But yeah, 60 minutes starts at £3.50. I mean, you can have unlimited minutes for £12 plus VAT per month.
And that's unlimited. That's like as many sales calls as you want to make from a professional office.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's to UK 01s, 02s, 03s and UK mobiles, with all the major operators. But I mean, I think we've actually got an acceptable usage policy. Unlimited, you see these adverts for phone and broadband, it says unlimited downloads. Or There's an acceptable, a lot of them, it used to amuse me, you'd see these adverts for unlimited broadband with a little asterisk at the bottom of the advert, then subject to fair usage. That's basically saying, Tanya, fill your boots, download as much as you want, but not too much.
Yeah.
With our broadband, you know, unlimited is unlimited. But the phones, unlimited minutes a month, I think we've got an acceptable usage policy. I think it's 5,000 minutes, but
I mean, I can
phone
talk
pretty much
quite a
all
lot,
day,
David,
every day
but
to
I'm
do
going
that.
to struggle with that, you know.
Even you, Tanya, would not use
Even
5,000.
me. Yeah, well, that'll be the problem. Soon you'll be able to know.
No, I don't get time to look at my own stuff, let alone what the customers are doing.
Yeah, you'll be going, you need to rein it in, woman.
Not that, you can have, you know, so say you're in Leicester, you want a Leicester phone number. Yeah, we assign you a Leicester phone number. If you decide that you then want to actually have a presence in Birmingham, you can add a Birmingham phone number. Additional numbers were £1 a month per number.
Which
you can have,
for most, like anyone in any business, that's one customer. If you get one customer in that area, you've just paid for it.
That's it. I mean, we've got a couple of, you know, admittedly they're financial firms, but they advertise and they portray a presence in Leicester, Birmingham, Manchester, London, Bristol, Southampton. It all comes into their phone system in their office in just outside Leicester.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this product as well, with a soft phone app, a lot of soft phone apps will only work on your mobile or on a PC, etc. This system's actually part of a fully blown phone system. So someone that starts, if it's a startup and they just need a number on their mobile, they can run with that for 6 months, a year, 2 years. Then they grow and then they do want to get an office, and then they can then actually plug a phone in and use a VoIP phone with this platform. If they then start employing people, they can then add additional phones. So it's not a case of having one system, but then you grow and then you've got to change that and go to something else. A lot of the systems now, and the ones that we provide, they're completely upgradable.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Because everyone starts a business really with the intention of growing it. So it makes sense
Well,
if
you're not going to do
go
it
back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I've known people. I mean, there's a plumber that we have as a client. He started, and he won't mind me saying, well, no, I'm not going to mention names. It's not professional. I haven't told him I was talking to you this morning, so he'd like the free advertising, mind you.
Yeah, probably. This is great.
He started on his own. He's now employing half a dozen staff, which is great. They've all got the soft phone app. If somebody phones, they've got somebody in their office. If someone phones the office, but then the call's not answered after so many rings, it rings all of the soft phones, and they can see it's a business call. So then so if your receptionist is busy, someone else that's actually out on the road can still answer it as if they're in the office.
And I assume as well that then she can obviously transfer to whoever needs to.
Yeah, that's it. One I've taken on recently, an HR consultancy. They've got 2 users, husband and wife, that run the team. More often, one specialises in one part of employment law, the other one specialises in some other parts. And they wanted 2 phones. They said, but we need to be able to transfer the calls. You can't do that, can you? I said, yeah,
I can do anything.
That's it. The answer is yes. What's the question is what I normally say, which sounds really arrogant and big-headed. But we've got an estate agent in Leicester. He bought a system from us just before lockdown, and he just wanted to save money on his existing costs. So we put him in a VoIP system, and as lockdown started, he said, I need to work from home. How do I divert the calls to my mobile? I said, you don't need to. Here's the URL. Go to this site, download this app, put in your username and password. Is that all I do? Yeah. He said, oh, okay. I had a text probably 20 minutes later from him, not a phone call, but a text. I bloody love these phones. So I called him back on his mobile, and he said, no, call me on the office number. So I called him on the office number.
I need to test it.
That's it.
That's brilliant.
It's great. He said, I'm in the car. This is brilliant. But a call comes in, you can still, because it's an app, you can transfer it to any of the other users you've got. Or if a call comes in for, I'll say this HR company I said about, a call comes in for the lady in the business, but it's not her area of speciality. Yeah, okay, hang on, Mr. Jones, let me just put you through to my husband. Hold, transfer, his extension number, he picks it up.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? And also, analog lines are going anyway, aren't they? So everybody's going to have to switch to VoIP at some stage in the near future.
If I had a penny for everybody that's asked me this in the last month, I wouldn't be sitting here, I'll tell you. Yeah, unfortunately, it's only now starting to become public knowledge. There's been talk for the last probably 5 years that BT are actually closing down the phone network as we know it.
Well, I think the only people that used to know were phone salespeople that were trying to upgrade you onto a different package and tie you in for a lifetime, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Not all telephone providers are the same.
I know, and that's why I'm speaking to you.
But no, 5 years ago they said, "Oh yeah, BT are retiring the ISDN network," which a lot of businesses use, and everyone was, "Yeah, but that's 10 years time. We're not worried about that now."
To be fair, people do give sometimes far too long notice periods, don't they, for these things?
Yeah. But then it was announced probably 2 years ago that they were going to retire the entire phone network. Basically, the phone network, that copper has been in the ground for donkey's years. The exchanges, they get, it's purely financial, let's be honest. The architecture, the technology is still it's relatively old. As and when things break down, it's getting more and more expensive for Openreach to actually start replacing things in the exchange. But yeah, lines as we know it are going to stop. You'll have copper wires that come into the house. BT, God love them, which other in what should we say? Other phone companies are available, of course. But their idea that they have adopted a fibre first policy. They've got, and if they can do it, fantastic. They're looking to lay a full fibre network by 2025. How they're going to
4 years left. That's optimistic, surely, at best.
Optimistic. That's not no. That's
I'm an optimist, but
Absolutely. But what they're doing is any lines now. I mean, that by 2023, they've already I think it's Mildenhall. They've already stopped taking orders for traditional telephone lines. There's 2 exchanges they've tried, and what you can order. Well, if you order a telephone line now, that's fine, and it comes with a telephone number. But so then if you've got phone and broadband, you've got a broadband connection, but the broadband is tied to the telephone number. By 2025, any lines that you have put in, it will be a line, but it's going to be a purely digital connection. If you plug a phone into the socket and pick the phone up, there's no dial tone, nothing. So basically, whether or not people want it, that even Auntie Gladys that lives in Aberystwyth, who makes 1 phone call a month, is going to need a broadband connection.
That's going to be the challenge, isn't it? Because
I'm just glad with our customers we've actually started offering this product now. I mean, BT, they want to make a full fibre network, so then so you'll still have a home phone, but it won't plug into your phone socket. It will be plugging into your router.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, you're going to have a broadband connection. Now, the worry that I've got with that, and a phone line, you can get a phone line for anything, I'll say standard price of £15 to £20 a month, or £10.99 with us. But if someone's going to have need a broadband connection just to have a phone number, because everything's being transferred to VoIP. VoIP is, I've been doing VoIP since probably 98, 2000. I'm going to be honest, in the next 5 years, there's going to be an awful lot happening. And the sad thing is, BT have actually given some indication of what they're doing, but then when you actually ask them something specific, it's a case of, they're just sticking their feet. They've obviously got a roadmap, but unfortunately, they're not letting all the communication providers have access to that map. Yeah. It will be a stage, as I say, there's already Mildenhall in Suffolk. You can't actually order a phone line. You've got to order effectively a broadband connect, or a line that's a digital line, and then you have to order a VoIP product to go on it. And apparently Openreach aren't interested in providing that, but they're just interested in providing the network. But BT as a company, they're not going to cease to exist, obviously, but they're going to have to offer something. But Openreach aren't worried about the voice side of things.
Yeah. And
it's great. We've already had customers that have wanted to get ahead of the game, and they think they're never going to get fibre in their area. So we can provide fibre to, you hear about BT Infinity or fibre to the cabinet. Yeah. We can provide that now without the voice side on the line. So normally you'd have to have a telephone line with a number, and then you'd order a broadband connection, which is tied to your phone number. Now, we can already provide a line. It's now called SAGEA. It stands for Single Order Generic Ethernet Access. BT do love their acronyms.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, we'll all remember that.
yeah. Although I did actually hear an engineer a couple of weeks ago refer to it as soggy.
Okay. I mean, I prefer soggy in a way. I don't think it's what BT wanted.
No, let's be sure. Let's call it SAGEA. But basically, it's single order generic Ethernet access. So we can actually provide service to somebody now. We can provide them broadband without a telephone number. And then, so that's the simplest stage. If someone's already got phone and broadband, they've not actually, Openreach and BT haven't actually said what they're going to do, how there's going to be a transition phase. Hey, can you actually move your number to a purely VoIP service? Because as what some people don't realise, if you've got broadband on a telephone line, if you move that telephone number elsewhere, the actual broadband service ceases. So they've got to actually have some sort of method so they can to cease it and re-provide it on the same day. Honestly, don't know what's going to happen. There's an awful lot up in the air about this.
Ones you just talked about, with it being linked to your broadband instead of your broadband being linked to your phone, surely that means if you were using that system that you can just unplug on the day you move house and go to your new place and plug in, because it's the broadband that you're taking as well.
Yeah, well,
but in theory.
In theory, theory is a good word when it comes to telecoms. Believe you me, I've been doing this since 1996. Trust me on this. I say there's an awful lot up in the air, but you'll be able to take your number with you, because numbers are normally tied to traditional telephone numbers are tied to a phone line. Now, with VoIP, you're going to have a number which is in the cloud. And people talk about the cloud as this big mystic, it's someone else's computer is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
But as an example,
to somewhere.
that's it. The cloud is just someone else's computer. But you could move, well, I did. I moved from Norfolk to the East Midlands, and I brought my telephone numbers with me because they were already on VoIP. And I moved to a town called Hinckley. We moved from Hinckley to Nuneaton. I had my inoculations and moved 3 miles across the border. And but I've still got my Hinckley telephone numbers with me. I could take my phone on my desk. I could go to the other side of the world and plug it into a router there, and it's there. It's because the actual phone numbers are hosted out on the internet. You can move house, and so you won't have all this hassle about trying to transfer your number from one provider to another. You just unplug your phone.
I could have seen you on the telly then, James, because there's been all those programs where people have gone to Barbados in lockdown. That could have been you. Got to live in there. Take your phone with you. You're done.
I'll tell you what, I've actually, because I use the soft phone app myself, I've sold this system to one of our suppliers. Not a IT, well, they supply IT components, but a couple of years ago we had an issue, and I'll laugh about it now, but at the time, let's just say I had a phone call from somebody at our supplier that we'd actually won in a prize draw of theirs. And then 10 minutes later, I mean, my wife was already in, well, we're in Turkey on holiday. I told her what, she'd already spent the money that we'd won. 10 minutes later.
Always the way.
Yeah. Within 10 minutes, I had a phone call back from the same young girl, very, very apologetic. Apparently, we hadn't won. We'd actually been on a spreadsheet of the people that were eligible. Thankfully, I was only the second one down. But she phoned the first person and said, "Oh, you've won X £100 in Love to Shop vouchers." That person said, "Thank you very much." They phoned James at Oasis, sitting on the balcony in Turkey, said, "You won £500 worth of Love to Shop vouchers. Thank you very much. We've won that. Julie's off and ready to spend it as soon as we get back into Gatwick." 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, they phoned back, "Sorry, you've not actually won." And then she explained, and I'll be honest, I was on holiday, I was chilled. Julie had already spent the money, so I said, "That's it." I phoned back. I was not happy.
No, I can understand.
I deal with telecoms providers every day, so I've got quite a high stress tolerance.
I can imagine. It's not something I'd enjoy.
I went from 0 to absolutely livid in about a millisecond, and I phoned our provider, and I phoned my account manager, and I said, "What's all this?" And she said, "Well, what?" And I told her, and she said, "I'll sort it. We'll honour it." Thank you very much.
Yeah, she's happy again.
She said, "No, we'll honour it." I said, "Okay." She said, aren't you supposed to be on holiday this week? I said, I am. She said, well, you're not, you're in the office. I said, I guarantee you, I'm in Turkey. No, well, hang on, your number, I'm looking on my phone, you've got your 01455. I had to end up WhatsApping pictures from the balcony.
Yeah, to believe me.
How does that work then? So, of course, immediately I went from elated to really annoyed to having calmed down to then full-blown sales mode. Talk to you about voice over IP. Anyway, a couple of hours later, I get a email from her, and the thing, I run a telecoms business. You've got to be proactive. I need a business to come back to, even while I'm away. So I'm still permanently glued to the phone. And I get a message, when you get back, our MD would like to talk to you. What about? About this VoIP thing. And when we got back, we actually spoke to him and we actually sold him a system based on the fact that she told him that, James at Oasis is actually on holiday in Turkey at the moment, but he's called back and I thought he was sat at his desk.
I thought he was in Hinckley. And he's saying
their MD likes his golf and so likes to, so does that mean I can actually be out sort of playing 18 holes and people think I'm working really hard at my desk? And she said, looks like it. We're having that, he says.
Yeah, and that's that other thing about perception, isn't it? We bring it back to perception. If people think you're working, but you're fishing or golfing, then
that Mr. Smith, look, he's still in the office at 10 o'clock. God dear, how dedicated is that man?
Dead dedicated.
Yeah, he's actually sitting in the bar. He's actually sitting in the bar, sort of drinking his cocktail or whatever. But yes,
you can only tell because the slurring starts at some stage.
There is that.
Well, thanks so much for your time today, James. It's been really interesting. And, no two businesses are the same. Obviously, nearly every business could benefit from this. But I'll put your contact details on the blog so that people can contact you to discuss their specific requirements, because you can explain it in more detail to them and look at areas that would benefit them and things like that. So
we appreciate, in business, we've got customers that are like one-man bands, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
No. Everyone starts somewhere.
Well, that's it. Without sort of like your one-man band plasterer, your plumber, your electrician. We bought this house 5 years ago, and it hadn't been touched since the 1960s. We've had a lot of trades in here that have, that's it. But it doesn't matter whether it's a one-man band. I think our largest client that we've actually got, not directly with us, but with one of our other partners, they run a call centre with about 1,200 people running this same system.
Yeah, but, if it's good enough for them.
Well, that's it, and one size doesn't fit all. We completely get that, but the system that we do is flexible enough that it will
scalable. And that's the key, isn't it? It's scalable, and that's what you need in your business, because the whole point is scaling up the business, and anything that can make that easier,
absolutely,
is a goer, isn't it? And you might as well be in that stage as early as you can.
And you never want to think of a business expanding and then suddenly having to contract and lay people off or reduce their numbers. But again, whilst we don't see much of it at all, to be honest, but because we only do everything on a 30-day agreement, if people want to scale up for 6 months and then suddenly they don't need it, or they suddenly, James, we don't need those phones anymore. Okay, we'll have them back. It's 30 days notice. And the 30 days, to be honest, is more than anything. It's for just to keep the billing clean, because we do a billing run every month. But no, people stay because they want to, not because they've signed a contract. But, we appreciate no two businesses are the same. If people need... But
that's also quite good for like a seasonal business as well, isn't it? Because some businesses obviously are busier at certain times. And if they can easily, one phone call, scale up and then go back down when they're quieter, it's really good, isn't it?
That's it. And for people that exhibit, sort of like the NEC, when we get back to being able to go to exhibitions and that sort of thing.
What are they?
I was actually supposed to be at one this week, and that's actually been obviously cancelled. They were going to do a virtual event, but you can't really do a virtual event trade show, I don't think.
No, it's tricky, isn't it?
We've had people that have been at the NEC and they've just needed people that are actually normally in the office need to be contactable, and you thought, well, they could put stuff through to their mobile, but there's nothing worse than you phone someone's direct dial number and it suddenly says, this is a Vodafone voicemail service for 07. So, they just need a phone license or soft phone license for a month. Well, they need it for a week, but we say it's a month as far as the billing goes, but they need a soft phone license to run temporarily. It's something we can do.
Yeah, and the good thing as well, of course, is they know it's working the week before.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all set up, isn't it?
Yeah. And we've got someone this morning that's actually moving into premises on, he said it's the 5th of April, which I think is Easter this
Month today.
fall. Yeah, but I'll say Easter this year, I think is it the 4th? So if that is the 5th of April, he's probably doing it in line with the tax year, but if that's a bank holiday Monday, well, if he might be in the office, none of his staff will be, but he's moving into new premises. And, we've organised the broadband for him this morning. That's going to be on in a couple of weeks just to make sure that everything's okay. He needs additional phones. I said, how many phones do you need? He said, I think we'll need another 4. I said, think or no? He said, I think. I said, well, provisionally we'll book you, 4 more connections. If you only need 3, then just let us know beforehand and we can just, it's a couple of clicks to turn the service on and off. So, people need flexibility as well. Not just in terms of contract, but people need to know that if we want to scale it up, we can scale it up sort of like with a few clicks.
Yeah, and also, like, let's face it, COVID's just proved to everyone that to be able to just become working at home from the, touch of a button is a thing that people need to be able to have that flexibility now. Touch wood, this doesn't happen again, but
Let's hope to goodness we never see this again in our lifetime, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's face it, a year ago, we thought, 3 months, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah, nobody anticipated it being so bad so long. People have had to adapt, haven't they? And
That's it.
Having adaptable systems in place helps with that.
Yeah, one of our providers, I rang them 9 o'clock this morning. I mean, yes, they're a telecoms provider, but they're one of our inbound providers. And obviously, when COVID hit, they moved their office in Bicester to everybody's homes. But because they use the same system, it was a case of unplug their desk phone, take it home, plug it into their router, or just use a soft phone. It's people have needed to be able to adapt, and thankfully, and I love helping people. It's not, I went into business, everyone goes into business for, what should we say, a better life or think of the money. The bit I really enjoy is just actually helping people. And it's just so nice that we've been able to help so many people, that have, we need to adapt, we need to do this. Yeah, okay, we can do that. And the helping people is the bit that I really get the kick out of, to be honest.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, it's like you say, there was so much stress with so many different areas of your life. For you to be able to help them in that small area that's made a massive difference at the drop of a hat, you do go home feeling good about yourself, don't you?
That's it. It normally takes, we can set something up within 24 hours because we could really do it with a couple of clicks and it's done. But, if it's a new customer, setting someone up, we can normally get them onboarded within 24 hours. And that's because we actually take time. We could do it in 10 minutes. We make sure it's done right. But, when people have suddenly said, we need another four phones, or funnily enough, we do actually do mobiles as well. But, if someone says, we need another half a dozen SIM cards, we can have them all activated within 10, 15 minutes. But no, the VoIP side of things, it's the way that everything is going to have to go. It's not the way it's going to go. It's got to go that way in the next 4 or 5 years. I've been doing this now, say, since 1996. And I think we've just about got it right now. But
it sounds like you've got the experience pretty down, on that time.
I've done 1 or 2 of these, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
It's been great having a catch up. It's been great. It's been too long.
It has. It definitely has. And I'll be having a look at my contract to see how long it is now until I can get the other one over to you.
I love look. If you want to have a look for it, I do love looking at a contract.
Yeah. Magnifying glass.
No, I have my magnifying glass at the ready. But no, I know we've already been chatting about making provision for this. But no, it would be nice to welcome you on board at some point as well with it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon.